Hello, guys, and welcome to Odds on Champions League Match Day 2, games on Tuesday with Dani, Fisichella, and Alvaro Romeo. Hello, guys.
Hello, guys.
And with you, of course, remember to leave your comments. We want to know your opinion. So press the like, subscribe so you don't miss any game and any video, and comment the Champions League with us. And we are going to start really strongly because we have a great game. Group A is exciting, and we have Liverpool, Ajax. What a game. Liverpool already in danger in match day 2 because they played an awful game in the Diego Armando Maradona. Joe Gomez was awful. Van Dijk was not even better. And this Ajax is cruising, Dani, in the Champions League, in the Eredivisie, is very strong. They are not conceding goals in the last 5 games. So I guess it was good for Liverpool to have a rest in the weekend, but be careful with this game.
It is good. It is good for Liverpool. They look so fragile mentally and physically at the Maradona. As I said, they were looking so fragile at the Maradona. They never lost a Champions League game with such a high score. You mentioned Gomez, Van Dijk looking out of form, but also the midfield getting overrun. And what is strange about the Klopp side is that after conceding, they didn't bounce back. They normally come out stronger. And actually, Napoli could score 5, 6 in the first half. They even missed a penalty, and it didn't affect them. They look tired, demotivated. I don't know what's wrong with them. Yes, they got a bit of an injury to deal with, but maybe it's the hangover from last season. They missed on two important titles, lost the final. A little bit of anger maybe is gone. I don't know. Only 2 clean sheets in 7 for Liverpool. They used to be really solid. They had to bounce back. It is a game that is a must win for them. They've already lost 3 games so far this season. And normally at Anfield, they get the job done. So I would trust them to win this one, but it's not going to be easy. Last season in the Champions League, they won 5, lost 1 against Inter, but it didn't count. They had a bad habit of conceding goals last season in the Champions League, Liverpool. They conceded 4 out of 6 at home. And they play an Ajax side full of confidence. They're going to go and run at them. In terms of odds, I do like here the Asian handicap for Ajax, plus 1.25, which pays 184, because if Liverpool wins it by a small margin, so by 1 goal margin, you win half your stake. And I would not imagine a big win, a high-scoring win for Liverpool.
For sure, there is no value on backing Liverpool. Odds are around 1.5 for Liverpool to win. Do you also think, Alvaro, this can be the end of an era, the end of Jurgen Klopp? Some people were saying after this awful start of the season.
I think that the answer is going to be given by the signings, really, because Darwin Núñez, Luis Diaz, they have a really big job over their shoulders, because I do believe that that Mane, Firmino, Salah trio up front was something difficult to repeat, and I don't know if Liverpool is going to be able to replicate that with Darwin Núñez. Luis Diaz is, of course, proving his worth in every single game, but I don't know if the Darwin Núñez signing 100 million was a little bit too much for a key player, because the striker of a big side at the end of the day is the one who is supposed to make a big difference. And Manchester City got themselves Haaland, and Haaland is going to give you automatic performances, very quick ones. With Darwin Núñez, you can see that there is a little bit of an adaptation thing there. I think that the signings are going to give us the answer to that. I think that it's down to them to give this Jurgen Klopp's project a 2.0 degree, and to see if the team can become the team they were before. I also think that the game against Napoli was probably the worst possible testament for James Milner, because he was slow every time he had to go on the ball. And if you play for Liverpool, you have to outmuscle everybody, because what Jurgen Klopp is asking you to do is the gegenpressing, which is to counter press when you lose it. and when you lose it again. And I don't think that James Milner has the engine to do that right now. I don't understand why he's playing so much, because Liverpool has players who could play there. And I know that Thiago Alcantara is injured, but still, there are more players who could feature in midfield. And then in defense, as soon as Joe Gomez made the first mistake, he made so many. I think that the game left an indelible mark on Joe Gomez, and it's going to be very difficult for him to recover from his game at Napoli. When it comes to Ajax, look, Gio Van Bronckhorst, the manager of Glasgow Rangers, was saying that it was a totally different level. And, I think that Ajax is right now, not for Liverpool, obviously, but for the majority of the Champions League sides. And I am aware that they are losing players all the time, that the new manager, Alfred Schreuder, it's still to be seen whether he's going to be as good as Erik ten Hag or not, but the team is performing very well, and this is not going to be easy. And then Bergwijn has been a very clever addition. Berga is working up front very well as well. So, this is a side that they are doing the job, and they are breaking many cliches as well, because they are not only good offensively, but defensively, they are very good as well. So for this game, look, I think that this is going to be quite open. And I think that eventually Liverpool will win it because they are playing at home. I'm going to focus and rely on the home factor alone for this game. So Liverpool to win and over 2.5 goals, 183. But as I said before, this is not going to be easy.
Abdul is telling us that Klopp can manage this kind of game, so he's going for Liverpool to win, and most of the people here for both teams to score and over 2.5 goals for Kishore. For instance, this is a key game, also very interesting. The other game in this group, Rangers-Napoli, to be played on Wednesday, but we are going to analyze it in this video. Napoli, they played and they won at the weekend, suffering, but they are top of the table in Italy. Alvaro, but for Rangers, they were outplayed by Ajax. Big gap between Europa League and Champions League, of course.
I really think so. I really think that the gap is massive, and Glasgow Rangers suffer against Ajax. Ajax, as I said before, they were way better than them, and Glasgow Rangers, look, they reached the Europa League final last season, but this Champions League is a different level completely. So for this game, they are going to find it more difficult, Glasgow Rangers as well, because let's see if Tavernier is ready. He ended up the last game with some ice in his leg, so I don't know if he's going to be ready for this game. Then the game in this weekend for Rangers was rescheduled, which can be good, I guess, because they rested a little bit more. But the Champions League has been, in words of Gio Van Bronckhorst, too much of an ask for them so far. And I think that Napoli can be as well too much of an ask, even though of course, they are playing at home and they will have their moments. Rangers, I don't doubt about that. But what I saw from Napoli the other day was fantastic. And Kvaratskhelia was so good the other day as well. This is a player to follow, an entertaining player that he's offering plenty of fun. So, for this game, I'm going to go plain and simple. Maybe Napoli to win, because after what they did against Liverpool, I could expect Spalletti telling their men, look, guys, we cannot screw up here. If we get 3 points against Liverpool in such a fashion, we cannot just not win against Glasgow Rangers. So I think that Napoli is going to be pepped for this game. Napoli to win 180.
I like it. And I think the game against Liverpool is one of those nights where the perspective of the footballing world on a team changes completely. There will be always for Napoli before Liverpool and after Liverpool. Now everyone is looking at them differently. Very few teams these years can beat English teams in Europe, nonetheless beat the vice champions of Europe so soundly. So it was an exaggerated performance by Napoli, a great proof of strength and maturity. Now there is an exam. This is like an A level, if you like, for Napoli. Is the exam. Are they really mature? Are they really competitive? They won ugly at the weekend against Spezia, which is a good sign. They won a game that otherwise they would have probably drew the first couple of years, few years ago. And now they go to Ibrox Park to show the good stuff that they did against Liverpool, with some issues. Without Osimhen, who's going to be off for 3 weeks. So let's see if Simeone plays, but obviously the game changes a bit. But they are in good form. Lobotka the best central midfielder in Italy at the moment. He makes them tick. As soon as he come on against Spezia, the game changed. You know, they are looking for the first back-to-back win in the Champions League since 2016, Napoli. So that tells you how stuttering they have been in Europe. First time they meet in Europe, by the way, these two sides never met, so it's a first. Game played on Wednesday, as we said. The rest will help Rangers, but you know, having the extra day rest, I think helps Napoli as well. Over 1.5 goals in the second half. Let's not forget the Ibrox factor. Rangers change completely when they play at home. So a lot of goals, perhaps more goal in the second half. Over 1.5 goals in the second half, that pays 2.
Napoli cannot screw this up after winning against Liverpool. Napoli to win 2-0 for Siporinch. Kishore is going for an under 3.5 or other Napoli to win and both teams to score. This actually pays good. It's 2.78. This is a good idea. Next group. Group B, we have Leverkusen, Atletico de Madrid. We had some surprises in the first match day, including Leverkusen losing to Brugge, although we said that that was going to be a tough one. Leverkusen in relegation in the Bundesliga. Really bad start for Seoane's men. And now they are facing a rock, Dani, like Atletico Madrid. They play ugly. They are not happy with the way they are playing, but at least in Europe, usually they do their job as they did against Porto.
I think against Brugge, Leverkusen were a little bit unlucky. They lost 1-0. First half bad. The second half they reacted. They had a goal disallowed, scored by Schick. They had a lot of chances. In the end, man of the match, Simon Mignolet. So the 1-0 is not a true reflection of how the game went. Leverkusen, strange team. You know, last season they were scoring a lot of goals. They were keeping it tight. Now they are penultimate in the Bundesliga. 2-2 draw at the weekend. They scored 7 in the last 4, but only kept 1 clean sheet. It's a very slow start in the Bundesliga. 4 points from the first 6 games. Worst start in 40 years. Can they turn it around? I think they can because they got the players to do it. I like Schick, I like Hosek, I like Diaby. These are all, you know, good promising players. Schick now is scoring 2 consecutive games in Germany. Their record in the Champions League for Leverkusen is not amazing. They lost 5 of the last 7 against Atletico. Is about really facing the experienced side. They can go there and stifle them and maybe hit them on the counter. Both to score, I like it. I think Leverkusen should capitalize on the chances they create. Both to score, 182, decent odds.
Leverkusen is unpredictable, Kishore is telling us, and the odds for Atletico de Madrid are great, in my opinion. I love this 2.5 for Simeone's side.
Not bad, Edu, not bad. I think that one of the things that makes an instant impact on me is the fact that Bayer Leverkusen has been really bad in tight margins, and Atletico de Madrid has been really good when it came to getting the points in tight margins. So they are totally opposing sides. I mean, if you check Bayer Leverkusen numbers, this season they have a -3 in the goal differential, which is not too bad, and yet they are in relegation zone. They have scored 8 goals, they have conceded 11. Okay, but then you look at them carefully, and they were close to at least getting a point in so many games this season because they lost 1-0 with Borussia Dortmund, because they lost 1-2 with Augsburg, because they lost 2-3 with Freiburg, and the other day because they drew 2-2 with Hertha Berlin. So when they could get a point or 3, they haven't done it. However, Atletico de Madrid is right the opposite. When they could get the 3 points in games that weren't easy, they have done it. Against Valencia, for example, the other day, at the end of August, it wasn't easy for them, but they managed to get the 3 points at Mestalla, and they really suffered that game. Against Porto, same story, 2-1 with a goal in the last minutes of the game. Against Real Sociedad, a draw in a very difficult ground, in my opinion, like Real Arena. So Atletico de Madrid has been very professional and very prolific when it came to dealing with the tight margins. And this is something that, in my opinion, can manifest itself in this game. Of course, Atletico has their own issues. It's not clear that Jan Oblak will play. And we saw the other day against Celta that the second choice goalkeeper is not as good because in Vega's goal, Celta's goal, he could have done better. Then Savic is not featuring in this game, and Jimenez is not 100%, so he might be out for this game as well. So Atletico will be playing with the following defense. Nahuel, Witzel, Hermoso, Reinildo, and Yannick at the back. It's all right, but many of these players, they've got an attacking profile if you look at them carefully. Compare it with the defensive know-how of Juanfran, Godin, Miranda, and Felipe Luis. That backline that gave Atletico de Madrid at least a Champions League final. So I think that, yes, this Atletico de Madrid is favorite. The defense is not great. So I'm going to go for Atletico to win, but scoring goals. And there is something here, a very speculative market that I have found in Betfair, which is really good. Atletico to win by 2-1, 3-1, or 4-1, that pays 6. Wow. I repeat again, Atletico to win by 2-1, 3-1, or 4-1, that pays 6. But if you want to go for bigger certainties, Asian handicap 0 for Atletico de Madrid, 181. I really like this one. Or Atletico to win, 255. But maybe if you want to stay conservative because you think that Atletico has their own flows as well, and Griezmann is not playing more than 30 minutes, well, Asian handicap 0 for Atletico, 181.
Draw no bet for Atletico is good. Garrick is telling us, imagine saying under 2.5 goals in the Atletico Porto, getting 3 goals in the extra time.
Dani that's what I got.
Exactly, in the accumulator, and was right, absolutely correct until that point. So very bad luck what to do. Talking about Porto, Brugge, an experienced team. Porto always doing kind of all right in Europe, but as we saw last season, at the end, they don't get the job done. Same happened in the Metropolitano. Alvaro, this has to be a victory. They are coming also from a good victory in the Portuguese league.
Yes, definitely. I think that Porto, it's one of those sides that in European soil, and especially at home, they are normally favorites. Like the big sides, really. And they have proven it in the Champions League as of late. Porto lost to Atletico in the last game, but I think that Porto deserved better, and Sergio Conceição probably agrees with that narrative. Bruges beat Bayer Leverkusen 1-0 with a goal from Silla, but I think that Porto is favorite, and I tell you why. The last time Porto lost a home league game against the Portuguese side was in October 2020, and we can say that Bruges probably has the same level as the medium or big size Portuguese side, and I think that Porto at home they have been really, really clever against this type of teams, and as I said again, Porto at home, they are a very good proposition. Of course, there is this doubt of Otavio. I'm not too sure whether he will play or not, but Porto has enough players to deal with this game well. I would like to single out in Bruges Jarenchuk. I don't know whether he will play or not, but he plays for Bruges now, and he was a former Benfica player. So, I'm sure that he will be oozing to score in this game. But anyway, I think that Porto is favorite for the reasons I said before. At home, they've been very good, especially domestically. They haven't lost in the league since October 2020 at home. So Porto to win 2-0. I like this one, Porto to win 2-0, not conceding a single goal. That pays 230, and I justify this in the following way. They got 3 clean sheets in their last 4 games. So it's something that is happening. And maybe if you think that Porto can score, but you still believe that they will win, which is my case, Asian handicap minus 1.25 for Porto, 192.
I mean, Porto to win 2-0, I like it, and it goes alongside my tip as well, which is under 2.75 goals. So Porto to win in a low-scoring game, because normally at home, Champions League, they know how to get the job done. They're very competitive. They can keep it tight, and they can, score a couple of goals and put the game to bed against teams that are less experienced. Nonetheless, Brugge did well against Leverkusen, but as we said before, they were a little bit lucky. I think Leverkusen had a few chances. Porto, they lost the last 3 Champions League games against Atletico, but they're not always going to play Atletico. So I think last season as well, they showed against Milan. They are a good match. Then in the Europa League, they knocked out Lazio. Yeah, I think they're a good side, and they never lost at home against a Belgian side. 6 wins and 2 draws. Against Atletico, very good display from Porto. They nullified them, and also when they were down to 10 men after the injury of Otavio, they probably have regret because they didn't win the game. So they're gonna bounce back here, and it's gonna be a low-scoring game for me. A Porto win, I like under 2.75 goals, 192. If the game finishes 3-0 or 2-1 each way, you only lose half your stake.
Brugge coming to this game with 6 consecutive victories to Dragao.
Yeah.
Next group, Group C, we have Viktoria Plzen, Inter Milan. Dani, this Inter doesn't look really good. They suffered to beat Torino. Handanovic was the best player in the pitch, probably. In the game before that against Bayern Munich, was Onana the best player on the pitch, and this usually is not a good sign. And this is the kind of games that they were screwing up in the previous seasons against the weak team of the group. They have to win and then just battle with Barcelona in the next 2 games.
Not only they have to win, but they need to win by a lot of goals, which I'm not sure at the moment they're capable of. Still, without Lukaku, we'll see him probably back in the game against Barcelona, maybe the return game. Look, winning in the 89 minutes after suffering after a very difficult week, it's a good medicine for Inter, you know. It is definitely a good thing, but are they yet still out of the crisis? I don't know. The good news is that they kept the second clean sheet of the season, but against Torino, especially for the first 55 minutes, they were way too slow, way too predictable. The body language of some of the players, Brozovic, Dzeko, Çalhanoğlu, it looked off. You know, they looked like they were not interested. They almost looked like they were expecting to win this easily. I still feel that having lost the league last season in the way they did it against Milan took out a little bit of the anger, a little bit of the eyes of Tigers. And the defense, for me, is still a concern. If Inzaghi keep changing the back line, he's not going to get that stability. They conceded 8 against Lazio, Milan, and Bayern. Against Torino, as you said, best man on the pitch. Handanovic, who we going to see in goal against Viktoria Plzen? Onana, because I think they're going to alternate between cup competitions and Serie A. You know, after all, Onana is the new keeper. Look, they're going to have a lot of the ball here, Inter, for sure. Viktoria Plzen only had 23.8 possession against Barcelona. They need to keep it patient if they want to win it. Maybe they will scrape it, so it could be a 1-0 in an ugly fashion. At the moment, I think Inter is going through a difficult spell. They need to put some wins together to get that momentum back. It's a very moody team, if you like. Under 2.75 goals, 209, so less than 3 goals. If there are 3 goals in the game, you lose half your stake. It could be a 1-0 for Inter, but with a tight margin.
So Porinch is telling us, Dani, let's see if you agree, time to go for Inzaghi. Too many good players, and they are playing so bad.
No, I don't think it's time to go. But it's time to stick with the formation, not tinker too much, and also it's time for the players to kick on back again.
Alvaro, do you see problems for Inter in Czech Republic?
I mean, it shouldn't be easy if you check the numbers, but again, these numbers are domestic. So translating domestic numbers into the Champions League is always a very difficult exercise because with some leagues, it doesn't work like that. But look, Pilsen has lost only one competitive game in 2022, only one this year, and it was last Wednesday against Barcelona. They didn't lose in the Champions League qualifier, for example, despite playing against Karabakh or Sheriff, but of course this is a different level. And when it comes to Inter, it's mandatory for them to get the 6 points against Viktoria Plzen and then beat Barcelona in the head-to-head. I mean, it's mandatory because you get the feeling that it's going to be very difficult to get something from Bayern in this group. One thing that is concerning for Inter, especially moving forward, and if they qualify for the group for the knockout stage, is the fact that this season they have lost all their high-profile games against Bayern, obviously, against AC Milan, against Lazio. So but this is the kind of game where they should win. So I'm gonna back Inter here, even though right now I agree with Daniele. They are in a concerning situation and the defense is not looking good. But maybe Inter to win and over 2.5 goals, that doubles up your bet. I mean, this is as far as I can go here.
And the best game on Tuesday, Bayern Munich, Barcelona. We are seeing this game so many times recently, but this is another time, Alvaro, because Barcelona are scoring a lot of goals. They are playing well. Lewandowski is scoring. Dembele is playing well. Rafinha, when he comes to the pitch, also is making the difference. And there is a lot of hype in Barcelona. They think this time they can get something from Bayern Munich with 3 consecutive draws in the Bundesliga. The odds tell us that Bayern Munich is still really favorites, 1.8 for Bayern Munich to win. This is a big test for Xavi's new project.
It is a big test, and this is Barcelona's behemoth, Barcelona's kryptonite over the last 10 years. So this game is tremendously important for Barcelona, and I tell you why. Because this game is going to, or can, rebuild Barcelona's ego and self-confidence after being defeated by Bayern very heavily over the last 3 or 4 years. It's very important for Barcelona because the team is working, the team is getting better. They have signed a player like Lewandowski who on his own, he has scored more goals in this current Champions League than Barcelona in the previous Champions League group stage. Because Barcelona in the previous Champions League group stage, I think that they scored only 2 goals, which was ridiculous. It's true that they were unlucky because Sergio Aguero had a heart issue, but and he couldn't play. But still, I think that this game is very important. And these games between Barcelona and Bayern, they are normally transcendental. They leave a record behind and they leave a trace behind. Look, in 2009, they played the tie. Barcelona 5, Bayern 1. 2013, Bayern 7, Barcelona 0. 2015, Barcelona 5, Bayern 3, and Boateng's waist broken forever. 2020, 1 game, 8-2 for Barcelona. Coutinho scoring for Bayern while being on loan from Barcelona. 2021, 2 group stage games, Bayern 6, Barcelona 0. As you can see, the scorelines are always very, very heavy, and in the last 9 games between these 2 sides, we have seen 37 goals. So I think that we expect goals here as well. Goals are expected because Bayern has had 21 attempts in this Champions League against Inter, because Barcelona had 20 attempts in the previous game against Viktoria Plzen. I'm going to go for the following. Since over 2.5 goals only pays 133 and over 3.5 goals only pays 191, I have to back it a little bit with Bayern winning. So Bayern to win, 182, fine with me. And Bayern to win and over 1.5 goals, 191.
Still good odds, I would say. I'm going to go completely the opposite way. And I'm going to go for a double chance here. I'm going to go for X2 Barcelona to get a draw or a win because it pays 216 and is a great price. Now, I think there is still a little bit of difference. There's still a bit of gap between these 2 teams, but maybe it's not as big as the odds suggest. Look, Bayern Munich against Inter, they played in third gear. They steamrolled. When they put the foot on the pedal, they knew they could score. And I don't remember any big save from Neuer. But I don't think this Bayern Munich are still yet the finished product. They're very close to it, but they do have some issues, and they do have some issue with focus and concentration at the back. And they play against a certain Lewandowski who's in great form. Do they know how to stop him? Well, I think they do, because obviously they play alongside for a long time, but it's still going to be a hell of a task. A little bit of injury concern for Bayern as well. Maybe Musiala and Coman are out for this one. Barcelona are going to keep the ball and move the ball much better than what Inter did. In the league, 3rd draw in a row. This didn't happen in the last 4 years, although at the weekend they made 5 changes to focus on the Champions League, as they should do, because rightly so, they need to win the Champions League group in order to go out first, and they'll always have time to make up ground in the Bundesliga. They'll probably win it by April. A home Bayern, they're great. They won 35 of the last 37 home games in the Champions League in the group stages. They had 11 shots on target against Inter. They scored 31 in 9 games. They are sharing the goals between them. It's not just the main striker who scores them. But I do think that against this Barcelona side, they could have problems, as they did last season when we saw them playing a few Champions League games. I think the way Barcelona keep the ball and the way Barcelona are going to propose an attack are going to create problem to a back line of Bayern that is not quite right there. I wouldn't be surprised if for this one, it's Goretzka starting to give them a little bit more of stability, because when he came on against Inter, the game changed completely. They had the anchor and they could unleash Skoman, Sane, and Man, etc. So it might be a tight one. But in terms of odds, I mean, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Yeah, definitely over 2.5 goals. I like the X2. I like the double chance here, 216.
Following up with Daniele very quickly, because I like his odds. I think that there is one odd that doesn't contradict what I said and what he said, which is both teams to score and no draw, 191. So somebody winning and both teams to score.
Both teams to score alone is only 1.4. That many people are pointing out this. And Dani, you are not alone. Some people here goes also for Barca double chance. So another market that is interesting, of course, is Leva to score against Bayern, as Kishore is asking us. So tell me in your comments, who are you backing, Barcelona or Bayern Munich? This is going to be a really interesting one and also important for the Champions League, because especially if Barcelona lose, they will have to play against Inter to know which team is going to go through this group stage. And we have Group D, and this is a very interesting one. We have Sporting Portugal. Tottenham is our first game. Both teams won in the first match day. Sporting hitting in the counter against Frankfurt 0-3. Impressive result for a team, Dani, that already last season were able to qualify for the knockout stages. Perhaps they can make it again. Let's see how these Spurs also play away. They suffered to beat Marseille also, as we expected, but at least they had some rest and they didn't go to the dentist at the weekend as they had scheduled.
Yeah, well, of course they'll be resting. No trip to Man City. Sporting Lisbon, I think the unsung hero of round one. I didn't expect them to beat Frankfurt so soundly. 3 wins in a row with 3 clean sheets now for Sporting domestically and in European competition. A bit of a strange one, really, because we thought they lost a lot of good players in the summer and they didn't have the same quality. But the Englishman Edwards was key. 1 goal, 1 assist, and the plan of Amorim work. I think Frankfurt, they let themselves down a little bit. They gave a couple of goals away, and in the end, also Adan, the keeper of Sporting Lisbon, made some good saves. So maybe 3-0 is a little bit too generous. So let's see how they do at home, because last season at home, they conceded 11 goals in the Champions League, but they still managed to go through the group stages. They need to keep it a little bit more tight. I think if Sporting attacks, that's the good game plan for Spurs, because they can hit them at the break, they can hit them on the counter, and they can damage them a lot. So I would expect Sporting to keep it a little bit tight at the beginning. They never beaten an English side in the Champions League. They never won the first 2 Champions League games of the campaign. So it is an uphill task for them. But both teams have got goal scorers, especially Tottenham. So I'm going to go for over 2.5 goals. Pays really well, 195.
Samuel is going for a double chance for Sporting in case you want this. Alvaro, 1.9 more or less. Do you trust Sporting or you have faith in Antonio Conte?
Can I say that I like both sides? I mean, and let me justify a little bit why. At the end of the day, Sporting Club Portugal, they started the Champions League beating Frankfurt, and that was an impressive win, because they did deserve to beat the Europa League champions. And the truth is that they are doing very well at the beginning of this season. Even players that don't show in the highlights, like for example Pedro Porro, the Spanish right back, he did a fantastic run in the 3rd goal of Sporting the other day. Adan, the goalkeeper, did a crucial save in the 2nd minute of the game against Frankfurt. But the team is working, and there are some players that have to be singled out, like for example Trincao, a player that I think that he needs still a lot of energy to be a top player, but he has scored 3 goals in the last 2 games, so that is positive for him. And another player that catches my attention and my eye is Marcus Edwards, who is the opposite of what Eric Dyer is. So basically Marcus Edwards is a Tottenham Academy graduate that didn't make it in the Premier League with the Spurs, and he ended up in Sporting Club Portugal, just the opposite of what Eric Dyer player did in his career. He started in Sporting Club Portugal and he ended up playing for Spurs. When it comes to Spurs, well, it was good for them not to play in the weekend, I guess. It was good for them to see that Richarlison is knocking on the door and saying, here I am, I'm ready to start ahead of Kulusevski. Probably he scored 2 goals in the Champions League, Richarlison against Marseille the other day. So, in this game, I'm going to go for Harry Kane to score or assist because he hasn't done it in the Champions League yet and it's his time, I think, 173. That pays 173, score or assist. Okay, so I duplicate the chances there. And if I have to go for over and under in the goals market, Daniele went for the over 2.5 goals. I'm inclined to go for the under 2.5 goals here, 199, even though my opinion is not too strong in here. I would prefer to back just Harry Kane if I can and stay there. Harry Kane to score or assist, 173.
Great headers from Richarlison against Marseille. Marseille playing at home against Frankfurt. There are ways and ways of losing, and Marseille, they really put a fight even with 10 men in Spurs ground, whereas, as you said, Alvaro, Frankfurt, they crumble at home. Odds for Marseille are 2.0 to win, and their start in the league and also is superb.
It is superb, yeah, and I can understand why we could back them here. I'm not going to commit myself very much to the full-time market. However, I'm going to say that I like giving Frankfurt a plus 0.25 handicap in the first half against Olympique Marseille, meaning that if they win the first half, you win, and if they draw, you get half a win. I like that one because that pays 180. And Frankfurt shouldn't be written off as well away from home because last season in the Europa League, they won 5 out of their 6 away games en route to their win in the Europa League. So they have been good away from home in Europe lately. Of course, Olympique Marseille is a difficult side to play against. Payet seems to be fit again, so this is very important for Olympique Marseille as well. They need the 3 points, obviously, because they lost in London. Yeah, I'm going to stick to that. I'm not committing to the full-time market here. Asian handicap plus 0.25 for Frankfurt in the first half.
I do commit to the full-time market. Marseille win because I think they've been brilliant so far. 6 wins and 1 draw in Ligue 1. They won at the weekend 2-1. They were coming from behind. And, 4th goal for Alexis. So it's been so good. And it's good news that he's going to be back for this one. Maybe also with Payet. A lot of quality there. I like what Tudor is doing at Marseille. He's, instilling a lot of energy, a lot of desire. At the weekend, he wanted to rest Tavares. But things were not working. So he played Balerdi instead. And after 20 minutes, he took Balerdi out, bring Tavares in, who's been so good, and things changed. So at the end, Lille keeper Chevalier was the man of the match. So 2-1 perhaps is not even a true reflection of how good Marseille were. They will come out and attack. I think Eintracht Frankfurt, they look weak for this Champions League. Marseille to win at the Velodrome, that pays 2.
Oden is telling us also Marseille to win, both teams to score. Kishore is asking 1.7 if you go for both teams to score. Dani, tell us your safe bet for this match day.
Well, I don't do this very often. Inter to win, 145.
Oh. And Alvaro, yours? Athletic to win cannot be.
Porto to win, 141.
Porto to win. And Dani's ACCA is?
Liverpool, Ajax, both to score. Bayern Munich, Barcelona, both to score. Rangers, Napoli, double chance, X2. Porto to win, 145. That's the odd of Porto, of course. Total odds, 391.
You both trust Porto at home. Alvaro, your ACCA?
Very quickly, Inter to win, Asian handicap 0 for Atletico. Liverpool to win and over 2.5 goals. Porto to win. Altogether, 663.
We have 2 things clear, Inter to win and Porto to win. In this Tuesday, then let's see if Bayern or Barca, for instance.
As long as Inter wins, I'm happy.
Tell me, guys, remember to comment the video with us and, of course, press the like and subscribe and follow us so we can keep analyzing the Champions League with you. Thank you, guys. See you in a couple of weeks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.